Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Fan. This is a recorded video for week 5 day 1. Before we start today, I want to remind you that your progress report grade is due this Wednesday. Just a reminder, I accept late work up to 1 week after the deadline for 70% credit. If you did not get a chance to correct or complete your week 3 scientific method lab yet, the deadline to receive 70% credit is this Wednesday, September 16th. So please make sure to check your school loop for your grade. I also include the login to school loop in the description below. If you forgot your username or password, please let me know and I can help you to retrieve your username or reset your password. Now, as I mentioned in the first week of school, we'll use a notebook to keep track of what you have learned throughout the year. Please know that you have two options to either keep a physical notebook or a digital notebook. Let me show you where that is. After you log out to Google Classroom, please go to Classwork, go down to Notebook, Segment 1, Scope 1, Digital Notebook Cells. On the left, you will see the digital notebook that you can type in. Again, it will be in Google Slide. The second one right here on the right is a PDF file. This is a physical template that you can print out and you can glue in the physical notebook that you receive on launch day. Please know that you have two options. You can either use the digital notebook or the physical notebook. Both options, you get the same credit and they both contain the same information. You only need to complete one of the two options. Whichever one you choose, either the digital method or the physical method is completely up to you. Please know that if you do choose the physical option, you do need to print it out, and in order to submit it, you have to take a picture through your webcam to upload that. Alright, now also notice right here on the due date. So this is due on October 5th for the odd period, period 1, 3, 5, and 7, and on October 6th for the even period, period 4 and period 6. Now let's set up your notebook. On the left is your digital notebook, and on the right is the template of your physical notebook. Let's go to slide 2. Go ahead and double click the text box and put your name right here. On the physical template, please put your name right here on the upper right hand corner. Let's move on to slide 3. This is a table of contents. If we were meeting in person, you have the table of contents at the very beginning of your notebook, and I'll have you write down the dates, the title, the page number, but for now, I will just have you practice keeping track of the dates only. For my odd period, period 1, 3, 5, and 7, please write September 14 on the first 3 items. For my even period, please write September 15 on the first 3 items. For the physical template, make sure you write the date on the very left column. If you are using the digital notebook, please know that each of this title, it is a link to link you to that specific slide. So you can click on this one to move to that specific slide. Next, let's move into our investigative phenomena for the scope. The big questions for this scope is, what is the smallest thing that is considered living? What is the smallest things considered living? Please pause this video and write it down in your notebook. Make sure to explain your answer. I think the smallest living thing is because. Make sure, write it down and explain your answer. Now, the next question we want to explore is, what about virus? Is virus alive? Now, during the flu season, many people go and get the flu shot to lower the chance of getting flu that year. Flu virus is very contagious. You probably know some people around you who got flu sometimes during your first, second, third, fourth, or fifth grade. Now, according to the CDC report, about 8% of the US population gets sick from flu each season. For last year in 2019, for example, CDC estimate that there are between 39 to 56 million people in the United States that got flu. Now, another virus we heard a lot about recently is the coronavirus. It has highly impacted our lives, and because of how contagious and dangerous it is, we are all staying home right now and learning through distant learning. But that lead us back to our original question. So, is virus alive, and what is virus? And in other words, what is a living organism? We will watch the BrainPOP video to learn more about coronavirus, and afterward I'll have you write down in your notebook something that you have heard or learned from the video.
Nothing like an early morning jog to... Phew. What? Oh, stop it. Dear Tim and Moby, I've been hearing lots of scary stuff in the news about the coronavirus. Can you tell me more about it, please? Thanks, Khalil. Sure thing, Khalil. Viruses are tiny particles that can invade living cells. There are millions of varieties with different behaviors, shapes, and structures. Coronaviruses are one group, named for their crown-shaped outline. 4 of these commonly infect humans. A lot of times when you get a cold, it's caused by a coronavirus. Any virus has one goal: to replicate or make more copies of itself. But it can't do that on its own, so it invades an organism and turns its cells into virus factories. This can be unpleasant for the host, the organism that the virus has infected. The new coronavirus typically causes coughing and fever. A healthy body can usually fight off this illness, known as COVID-19, on its own. Symptoms are mild for most people, especially kids. But in a body with weakened defenses, COVID-19 can become more severe and require medical treatment. Some people get seriously ill, and that's gotten everyone's attention. This new coronavirus was first identified in Wuhan, China. In late 2019, there was an outbreak. That's when a disease starts spreading. More and more people got sick, first in China and then around the world. Entire cities have been quarantined or closed off to slow the disease's spread. Fortunately, viruses can't get around without our help. And there's a lot we can do to not help them. Like washing your hands, especially after being outside and before you eat. That's always a good idea, and you probably already do it. Scrub with soap for at least 20 seconds to make sure you don't miss any spots. Whenever you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth to help keep any germs contained. And if you're sick, avoid other people. You wouldn't want to infect them, even if it's a plain old cold. Well, when there's an outbreak where you live, experts recommend some added precautions. Like social distancing, limiting close contact with other people, even if you're not sick. Hang out at home with your family and keep up with your friends online. That gives the virus fewer opportunities to spread around. And if you have to be near other people, cover your face. Masks provide an extra layer of protection for these situations. Lots of outbreaks have been stopped when enough folks just follow these simple rules. Yeah, it's true. Many people have died after being infected by the 2019 coronavirus. That's because the virus can infect a person's lungs and make it hard to breathe. Those are the stories we hear about most online and in the news. But the vast majority of cases have been mild. If you feel overwhelmed by the news, consider limiting how much you let in. Instead of cable news and social media, stick to sources like the World Health Organization. They'll give you the big picture, not just the scary snapshots that make the headlines. And they're organizing experts all over the world to get this coronavirus under control. Still, it's totally normal if the situation's made you a little anxious. Talk to a trusted adult. They can help you put your feelings in perspective. One last thing. Coronavirus doesn't care where you're from or what your background is. So don't let anyone turn this into an excuse to target someone based on how they look. Working together is how we'll beat this thing, so let's stand up for our neighbors. Okay, I'm a sweaty mess. I gotta rinse off. Oh, don't be so dramatic. Where are you going? I really think you're overreacting.
Now that you finished the video, go ahead and write down what did you hear or learn from the video. Go ahead and record it in your notebook, either the digital notebook or the physical notebook. You can find our independent work today in your Google Classroom under classwork. Go down to week 5 right here. Week 5, day 1 assignment, NewsELA article. Click on this, and this is where you can see the Google form. Once you open the Google form, go ahead and record your name, first and last name, and period. What do you think? Do you think virus is alive or not? Check yes or no, and explain right here why. Why do you think virus is alive, or why do you think virus is not alive? After that, go ahead and read the NewsELA article. What is a virus? After you read the article, go ahead and answer the question. What is one characteristic of living thing that virus has? In what way, or in another word, in what way is virus similar to living things? What is used to prevent virus? What is the difference between antibiotic and antiviral? And last but not least, do you think virus is alive or not alive after reading the article? Make sure to find a quote from the article that supports your answer. A quote would be a sentence that you can find in this article, word for word, that can support your answer why virus is alive or why virus is not alive. This is a shorter assignment, so after you finish this, you can also double check on School to see whether you have any missing or late assignments so far. Again, we are taking the scientific method lab from week 3 all the way until Wednesday, September 16th. Have a great day.